Hello everybody, All Tech here. Today we are going to be playing Historia Chapter 1, a visual novel horror game on itchy.io. Link to the game and the developer in the comments below. I kind of want to get into more of this horror game visual novel type thing. It's kind of what I haven't played a lot of it, but it's just so good. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Dad, Doug, you better not be on that game again. Dad's voice booms through the house. I could swear that I heard the glasses rattle in the kitchen. Bet he's been drinking again. No, I'm studying. It's not entirely a lie. At least I'm not playing a game. I hurriedly open up a Wikipedia page before the door swings open. Then show me. See? Dad's face remains in a sneer. I can tell he's not buying it. You think I was born yesterday? Don't make me check your history. You're saying you don't trust me? How could I? I've known you since you were born. I can feel my blood boiling. I've got too much going on to put up with that tonight. You've really got no clue, do you? I have more of a clue than you could ever imagine. Now show me your history. If you've been studying, it should be obvious. Dad reaches over at me and tries to open the browser history. I pull the power cord before he can reach the keyboard and the screen goes dark. Whoops. You little prick. Get out of here. Don't worry. I don't want to hang around you when you're in one of your moods. What's that supposed to mean? I ignore him, grab my backpack, and push past him, bumping the storage shelf on my way to the door. I knew it wasn't a huge room when I moved in, but it was better than sharing it with my sister. I thought I could get privacy by sleeping in the old storeroom, but my dad knows no boundaries. It's a pain. Where do you think you're going? None of your business. You're damn right it's my business. Get back here. I walk out the back door to the house, waving a farewell to my mother, who's trying to drown out our fight with her headphones. I feel sorry for her, but then again, it's her husband. Don't be too late. The door closes before I get the chance to reply. This is the third time this month that Dad has come home and started ranting before even saying hello. I have no idea what his deal is, but it pisses me off. No point staying in the house and suffering. My phone out from my bag and make a call. Yo, Doug, what's up? Mac's cheerful tone pisses me off. Ever since he was a kid, he had his life together. We've been friends since we both moved here years ago. At the time, there weren't many families in Penrith, so you were friends with whomever was around. Back then, I didn't notice the difference in our families, but now it's painfully obvious. He never said anything about it, but I could tell. His dad drove a BMW, always in a model. He's had the same Subaru for as long as I can remember. I have to sleep in a storeroom. Max practically has a whole floor of his house to himself. His dad was some kind of mining consultant. I guess that explained it. I need to blow off some steam. Can I come over? Sure thing. I've got nothing on. I'll download a movie, grab some Coke on the way. Okay. See you soon. I walk to Max's house, stopping at a convenience store on the way. Coke alone won't be enough. I grab a bag of chips as well. Dude, what took you so long? Never mind, I got hot rod. It's hilarious. Ever seen it? I shake my head. You'll love it. Come on, let's get this party started. That's one thing about Max. No bullshit. He knows what I want to do and just gets on with it. No dumb questions. Trying to make things better. Just Coke and a movie. He knows me too well. It's not like you to sneak out. Usually you're too straight-laced. Yeah, I know. Life has been pretty crap recently. I don't want to tell him about Dad's drinking and Mom's ignorance of the facts. I just want to chill out. Things have a way of working themselves out. You'll get over it. Only a couple months and then exams are over. Just think, when summer's over, you can be at university, far away from your parents. And Natalia. after for you. You touch my sister and I'll kill you myself. Max punches me playfully. I'd like to see you try. Aren't you going to some fancy university as well? Probably. Thinking about taking a gap year though. Dad keeps bugging me about it. Well, why on earth are we talking about school? Are we watching this movie or not? We're here to get our laughs on. Sounds like a plan. Besides, if I start thinking about how hot your sister is, I won't be able to sleep. Shut up, you wanker. Fine. I can see you running for yourself. I want to make a comeback, but I realize that I've lost this fight. I know Max would never really try and make me want to tell you. He's only doing it to get at me. Then again, that's probably his point. He's expertly taken off my mind off my troubles and all. Just put the damn movie on. You're too easy to stir up. It's all that honor crap you got, dude. But don't worry, Uncle Max here's got the pill to chill your ills. Trust me, this is hilarious. You keep saying that, but I don't see anything on your TV. Alright, don't get your knickers up a twist. Here you go. This movie is hilarious, but within minutes I've forgotten about my petulant father and his drunken rampages. In the back of my mind, I can see his point. It's my last year of high school. If I screw it up now, it can ruin the rest of my life. That's my mistake to make, not his. Mom seems to get it. She keeps telling me to get my head on straight and remember what's important. I know they're both right. I don't want to fight with them, but it's a stressful time. I try to be good. I don't drink or party like some of my friends, even though there's not much else to do out here. A lot of people seem to fall into that trap. They get bored so they start drinking. And because they spend all their money on booze, they can't afford to get out of here. It's a vicious cycle. Max gets it though. He's a bit of a study freak, but he knows how to wind down as well. That's why I like him. I laugh my backside off through the movie, losing myself in the childish humor. But like all good things, it comes to an end. You're right, that's exactly what I need. I haven't laughed so hard in ages. I know, right? It's so stupid that it becomes genius. You gonna stay over? I look at my watch. Nah, I should get home. Things have calmed down over there. Mom will be worried. No props. You're most welcome here, you know. Thanks, man. I want to take you up on the offer, but I know that I have to patch things up with Dad. I don't like leaving things to fester. Better deal with them before they get out of hand. I sigh and pick myself up out of Max's beanbag. See you at school tomorrow? Sure. Let's come here when you're done and we can look at the map assignments we've got. It's due on Friday, you know. Don't remind me. You'll be fine. Anyway, night. Night. The evening is starting to get a little warmer, but only marginally. Even though the spring days are starting to heat up, the nights still retain the winter's chill. Soon the days will start getting longer, and you'll be able to go out without a jacket. I'm looking forward to that. I should let Mom know I'm coming home. Shit. I fumble around in my bag, but my phone's nowhere to be seen. I must have missed it at Max's house. I hope he's still up. As I approach Max's house, I can see lights dancing through his window. He's still watching TV. I try the door. Thankfully, it's unlocked. I guess his parents are asleep already. There'd be hell to pay if I woke them up. Inside, the sound of water echoes faintly. I shouldn't have worried about anyone waking up. They're obviously watching something. Regardless, habit makes me creep upstairs, just in case I feel like a thief in the night. What the hell was that? A pang of dread spears through my heart. This sound isn't for a movie, it's real. Light is pouring out of Max's parents' bedroom, and the same watery sound. It's too loud to be a shower, and it feels like it's moving through the house. Max? Are you okay? My heart pounds against my chest and I find it hard to swallow. My mouth is dry. My call to Max seems more like a whimper. The air smells of ozone and apparently arms starts to stand on end. I feel arcs of static electricity shooting from my hands and still in an executive shock. I reach for the banister to steady myself, but the solid wood seems to flex at my touch. Like it's made of sponge. The steps too feel like they can give way to my weight, even though I've bounded up 100 times or more. I try to shake it off, but it's late at night and my eyes are playing tricks on me. Even my eyes are finding it hard to focus on the world around me. It's as if I'm in some new reality that my body wasn't built to handle. I feel the presence getting closer and the sound of water getting louder. It's the noise of the river bursting its banks and changing down the street. I creep over and stares into the darkened window and breathe with caution. Before I realize it, I was seeing something indescribable. I'm frozen in fear, my hands clutching the handrail of the stairway. A giant green head arches out from Max's parents' bedroom. At least I think it's a head. From the front, it's nothing but teeth, rows and rows of teeth, disappearing into an endless blood-red maw. The creature twists and shows me its body. It's like a floating snake, fluid tube by a foot of crabs running its way up from its parents' bedroom. Its skin is flowing liquid, glowing and glowing. Colors dance across it, surface in constant motion. It's as beautiful as it is terrifying. I can do nothing but look, not even a breath escapes my lips. The head bobs and weaves, as if searching for something, before turning into a dark, very black glow. Max! Body engages with my ability to gently charge into Max's room. The snakes are clear out of Max's room. The ceiling is frozen and these hands are attempting to see me, swaying, totally about to strike, fixating on Max. I grab a pin from Max's desk, the closest thing I can find, and try stabbing the growing fluid body. The pin in my hand passes through the snake's body, for a moment until it lost in time. A terrible sensation of touching the beast instantly sets my body afire. I can feel my stomach lurch as it heaves out its contents. I projectile vomit phases through the snake's body and out over Max's desk. Doug, help me! Get out of here! I try to grasp the snake's body again, but my hands can't find a purchase. Nausea washes over my body again as I shake, make contact with the strange, fluid body. Doug! In an instant, the serpent pounces its endless amount of people's blood before it slings itself upon Max's helpless body. The snake's skin grows even ever whiter, growing in the sun, and I have to shield my eyes. Instinctively, I charge into the beast, arms flailing, trying to save my friend. The whole body crashes into the water form. My brain starts to freeze. My eyes feel like they'll bulge out of my head and my skin bristles. I can hear nothing but the darkness of the void. Electricity arcs in my nose, a burning artificial smell. It's like my body is being warped and stretched in every direction at once. Suddenly, I phase through the snake's body and reach the other side. The beast is ignoring me completely. It implodes itself and continues down into Max's bed, slashing and burning as it rushes past me. In a moment, it's gone, and the room is shrouded in darkness. It takes a moment for my eyes to adjust. Max? My voice is a hoarse whimper. I creep toward Max's bed, groping against the darkness. Max? My voice returns slightly. Part of me hoped that Max, like myself, simply passed through this phantom beast, rattled but unharmed. As the darkness starts to give way, I can finally see Max's room. It's perfectly empty, as if it were a showroom model that had never been lived in. Max is nowhere to be seen. Max? Max? There is no answer. I force my weakened body to Max's parents' room. Again, there is no one there. From downstairs, the gurgling sound of water creeps back from my perception. Flashing colors light up the stairwell as the beast moves around the ground floor of the house. I drag myself over the ledge of the balustrade and take a deep breath. The rushing water sound grows in volume, the light increases in intensity. With a guttural scream, I launch myself down the stairwell into the back of the beast. Fuck you! Wow. Wow, that was intense. So Max is dead. But I was just starting to like him too. That's upsetting. Maybe we're in a different dimension. The morning sun breaks through my window, rousing me before my alarm. I check my phone, noting that it's only 15 minutes before my alarm was due to sound anyway. To be robbed of those precious last moments of sleep irritates me for some reason, but I know that I'm not going to be able to reclaim them. It doesn't help that I can't put my finger on when I got up, but I got to sleep last night. I remember tossing and turning in bed, complaining about not sleeping. But that's it. I guess my temper flared too high and messed with my sleeping patterns. I know that I must have gone to sleep at some point, but part of me doesn't believe it. I'm just as tired as I was when I crawled into bed. Such is the life of a high school boy, I guess. After trying to force my eyes shut for 5 minutes, I realized the futility of it all and dragged my sorry arse out of bed. The house is silent. It must have been the first up. Mom is still likely passed out. She's been working long shifts recently. Dad. His car is in the driveway, so he's here, but I honestly couldn't care right now. He had no right to act the way he did last night. Alcohol is no excuse to lose your mind in that kind of way. In any case, I can't hear him around. Maybe he's so hungover and sleeping it off. I pull on a uniform and head to the kitchen to fix myself some breakfast. To my surprise, Natalia is already quietly eating a bowl of cereal. Oh, morning, Doug. Did I wake you? Nah, you can blame the sun for that. I can see a flicker of relief rush across her. Oh, good. I don't want to disturb anyone after. You know, I guess everyone was walking on eggshells this morning. It's okay. Should I get out of here early? Yeah, you could say that. Although I would think that you're the one that would want to sneak out. It's barely 7. Dad won't be up till past. If you leave now, you'll miss him. The thought had crossed my mind, and it would be a lot easier to avoid Dad today. I'll think about it. Pour myself a bowl of cereal and sit opposite my sister. I glance at my own uniform, clean and crumpled. It's a far cry from the neat perfection of Natalia's. We have different priorities. No one cares what a guy's clothes looks like. The girls seem to pay attention to different things. We eat in silence, careful not to rouse the monster that ruined last night. Look, it's not my place to tell you how to live your life, and Dad was clearly in the wrong. But you don't need to provoke him, especially when he's drunk. I feel a knot in my chest. She's probably right, but pride won't let me admit that. She was always Dad's favorite. She doesn't know how hard he is on me. I swallow hard to keep my stomach in check before answering. I didn't provoke him, he just never listens to me. I was only trying to explain myself. That's exactly the point. You always have to win, even when it's impossible. You think he's gonna listen to you when he's like that? You're better off keeping your mouth shut. Then maybe we can be a family again. Oh. I opened my mouth for him to reply, but I paused for a second. Replays of last night run through my mind as I processed what she said. Dad came home and accused me of wasting time on the computer. I turned off the computer before he could check it. He lost his mind and started trying to take the computer apart. I told him that I had an assignment due tomorrow. Natalia tried to intervene, but upon seeing the maelstrom, retreated into her room. Mom refused to be drawn into the conflict. Her long shift had ended and she needed to wind down. So it was Dad and I yelling insults at each other until he stepped out of my room. I spotted my chance and barricaded the door. I like the cornflakes box too, by the way. It's just literally cornflakes. Mom was finally moved to act when he went for an axe to break into my room. But at that point, I'd already slipped out through the window. She'd laid into him before heading off to get some sleep. If this weren't a regular occurrence, I'm sure that our neighbors would have called the police at some point. I imagine they're getting used to these escalating exchanges. It's the same pattern every night. But I'm glad that I can count on my sister. She's practically my best friend. I don't know what I'd do if she weren't around. What else am I supposed to do? Roll over and let him ruin my life? I'm 17, nearly 18. By this time next year, I'll be in university. But he treats me like I'm some 5-year-old that needs to be told how to do everything. Just because he's bigger doesn't make him right. It's infuriating. My hands start to tremble as the memories from last night tumble around in my mind. But you do act like a child sometimes. What did you end up doing last night after he quieted down? Did you study? She knows me too well. Try to avoid her piercing gaze, but it's impossible. Her voice is a calming influence on me. I'll let me see through the fog that lingers in my mind. For some time now, she's been able to tell exactly what in his mind. Nah, I watched Hot Rod in my room, then tried to force myself to sleep. Okay, so, if we watched Hot Rod at home, that means that we didn't get alternate dimension. Max and his family got eaten and taken out of our memories. I think that's what would make the most sense, right? Maybe you do need someone to look out for you. I've always been close to my sister. Something about her just makes me want to look after her. Like she's an innocent version of myself that I need to protect from the big bad world. But recently, I felt as if the tables have turned. She's starting to look out for me more than I have her. She's certainly more level-headed than I am. She's able to make friends easily, something that has always vexed me. I've never really had any friends, at least none that I would rely on. Maybe that's why she's a little more stable than myself. She always seems to have someone to talk to. Yet I feel something tugging on the back of my mind. A dream half dreamed. I shake off the feeling and shovel the remaining cereal into my mouth. But I do have someone looking out for me. That's your job, right? What are you saying? You're supposed to be the big brother here. Relax, I'm pulling your leg. I'll be fine. Only a couple more months and I'm out of here. Then you can visit me if you like. What, to a uni dorm? No thanks. I've seen your room. I couldn't imagine what it would be like if Mom didn't force you to clean up. Don't tell me you're afraid of some dirty clothes. If that was all I had to worry about finding in your room, then I'd be okay with it. I want to reply, but I realized that I backed myself into a corner. I either incriminate myself or disgust my sister. More than likely, both. But the joshing has changed my mood a little. After being berated all night, it's good to chat freely with a friend. Are you alright? Huh? Oh, nothing. It looked like you were coughing or something? My body is convulsing and I don't realize it. Looks like I'm trying to heave up some unknown poison from my gut. Just some gas, I guess. I didn't even register my body moving. Do you want me to get Mom to look at you? I can wake her. No, she'll panic like she always does. I'll go for a walk and it'll be alright. Good idea. Best to leave before the dragon wakes. I wave at my sister as I walk out the door. I know she's trying to make light of the situation, but it's not a great place for any of us right now. Dad can't seem to leave work at work, so he's already stressed by the time he walks in the door. Even when he's not drunk, it's like sitting on a keg of gunpowder. Mom has given up helping. She sees enough death and destruction at work. She tries to drown out our fights where she can. So Nat and I have banded together to protect one another. At least I'd like to believe that. I know that I have a share of the blame when it comes to the fights at home. I can't stop myself. I know I should just shut up and let him blow off steam, but I can't. Fighting back seems to be part of my nature. I can't simply let him believe he's right when he's clearly in the wrong. But it's not fair on that. Maybe I should pay more attention to her. I stare at my feet as I shuffle along the road as if on autopilot. I've walked to school 1,000 times. My body knows where it's going. Instead, I put my mind to deciphering last night's events. What could I have said differently? What can I tell myself to prevent my reacting? A mental fuse that I can blow before flying off the handle? It's pointless. No matter how many times I look through last night's events, I can't see myself reacting any differently. I'm a sucker for a fight. I guess people don't change. If you put the same person in the same situation 100 times, you get the same result 100 times over. It's far too early to show up at school, but maybe I could go to a cafe somewhere, crack a textbook there, I guess. Something prompts me to look up, and I realize I'm lost. I'm standing in front of an unfamiliar house, a two-story townhouse that seems to be an exact copy of the other houses on its street. I know I've never seen it before, but I can't ignore the tingle of deja vu coursing down my spine. Max's house. Max's house. I'm drawn to this house somehow, but I don't know why. Your muscle memory brought you here. I look down to my hand and I see it shaking, just like it was at breakfast. Looking at the house makes me feel like I want to vomit, so I turn my back to it and head towards school. I barely make it 10 steps before I feel an eruption in my gut charging from my mouth. Ew. I have no chance to stop it, and I aim the stream of black bile into a nearby gutter. The mass of vomit seems to crawl across the concrete like some kind of animal seeking shelter in a nearby drain. That is a disgusting visual. A good visual, but disgusting. I turn my back towards the house I've just left. It appears hazy in my vision, out of focus, like when you try to take a photo without enough light. Blurred. Max? Max? Why have I heard that name before? Huh? I know y'all saw that. More importantly, why am I saying it? I need a drink of water. The spring heat is starting to get to me. I'm overtired, dehydrated. Close my eyes and take some deep breaths, charging my lungs with oxygen before pushing on back towards school. The unexpected detour has cost me some time, and as I approach the school, I start to see other students meander in the same direction. I pay them no mind. Regardless of opening hours, I need a coffee and a water to soothe my dried throat. A latte and a cold bottle of water. I've blown most of my money I'm carrying for lunch, but I'll cross that bridge when I come to it. I take alternating sips of hot drink and cold water. I'm not sure why, but it helps to wash away the taste of vomit. Max. Who's Max? Perplexed by this figment of a memory. It's a little more than a name, but there is some connection there. Close my eyes and try to sort out my thoughts. As the liquids mix in my stomach, I can start to feel something deep within me. Some kind of imbalance in the universe. Like I'm missing some piece of me. I try to breathe in deeply, but it feels as if I can't feel my lungs. I overextend myself trying to get air into each branch of my chest, but it's no use. I'm not exhausted, yet I feel short of breath. Like I'm drowning in thick air. Memories desperately clinging to the back of my mind. I try to shake it off, but I can't. Eyes closed, I reach for my coffee. Shit. Reflexes kick in when I shake the hot liquid off my hand. I open my eyes to see the spilled coffee spread out like a brown wave across the table, drenching everything in its path. Crap! A levee of napkins is quickly created to contain the disaster. Somehow I have emerged unscathed beside some lightly soiled hands. I sweep up as much of the coffee as I can get into a mountain of soaked tissues before heading to the bathroom to wash my hands. The stink in the bathroom is already sickening. Didn't I clean this last night? Or have the years of grease from the fat food atmosphere simply made this place uninhabitable? Never mind. I turn on the faucet and place my hands in the water. Electricity arcs between my hands as they make contact with the stream, causing me to trip over myself. What the? Again, I feel the urge to vomit. I barely drag myself to the filthy toilet before I lose control and discharge the coffee mix into the bowl. I feel a tear in my reality. An unfamiliar face calls to me. Doug. Max? The filament loses itself in the swirl of the toilet, beyond the reach of my senses. My stomach pinches again, and the memories of sitting at home last night shudder and fade, like a bad recording on a security camera. The fuck was that? So much for keeping myself clean. Gray-brown stains are smeared across the knees of my school pants, and flecks of black vomit litter my shirt. But there's no time to change. I need to get to school, clear my head, get whatever fever dream I'm having over it. Part of me wants to go home and crawl to bed, but I'll never hear the end of it if I do. The water is still pouring from the faucet into the sink. I want to splash my face, but the shock for the first time scares me. I shut off the tap and carefully leave the bathroom. Guiltily, I eye off the disaster zone of the coffee floor before bolting out the door of the cafe and into the schoolyard. Someone will clean it up, I'm sure. I mean, that's their job, right? Maybe it will be practice for them before they attempt to clean the bathroom. The familiarity of the playground settles my mind and stomach. Groups are huddled in their spots. Sporty kids are kicking a ball around the oval. The nerds are playing a game of chess under the shade of a tree. Our friends are sitting around, joking and already eating their lunch. So, the group nods roughly at me, paying no heed to my appearance before returning to their conversation about girls and cars. Both things that none of them have any real experience with, but that doesn't prevent them from posing as experts in their fields. I was eating something funky last night. That's the only explanation. Maybe this is some kind of drug trip? Did one of these guys slip me something without me noticing? Before I can ask, the bell rings and we shuffle toward roll call. The schoolyard banter continues, drawing disgusted stares from some of the girls in the class, but we don't seem to mind. However, as the teacher strides in, we all settle down. Alright. Quiet up. Roll call time. Daisy? Huh? Excuse me? Growl at me. Daryl? Doug? Edgar? Edith? Graham? What is going on? Max? Oh, my eyes are watering. Rebecca? Huh? Quiet, please, Doug. You had your turn. No, what did you say? Rebecca? The walls of the classroom flex in towards me, and again I feel as if I can't breathe. I'm underwater, unable to fill my lungs. I need to escape. Doug, are you okay? Get out of here! Yeah, I'm fine. I see the classroom spinning fan. Pull the air along with it, slowly dissolving the ceiling and pulling it into an off-white swirl above me. Edgar, can you please help Doug get to the nurse's office? Windows melt in the hot, hot sun that is beating down on me from above. It's the light dancing as it reflects through the liquid ceiling. It's fine. I've gotta get Max. Who's Max? Edgar, please help him lay down. The vague figure approaches me and places a hand on my shoulder. Fire burns my insides and I recoil from his touch. Don't touch me! I leap back, tripping over my desk. I need to find Max. Now. Edith, go get the nurse. Now. I feel a presence slip past me, but it's hard to see through the thick air. Reminds me of something buried deep in my mind, repressed memory. Fangs and rushing water tear at the edges of my mind, forever out of reach. But at the end of my conscience, I can sense his malevolent presence. I need to get out of this space, this reality that has fallen down around me. The door's shape beckons to me, and I slim through the fluid space towards it. Beyond it, I can see the school's hallway, shimmering as if I were looking through a soapy bubble. I'm not going to let you eat me! My voice echoes around the classroom, shifting in pitch as it bounces off the walls of his bubble. With much effort, I reach the door and tear myself through its membrane and into the clear air beyond. My memory returns. Behind me, reality snaps back into place, and I see 24 scared faces staring at me. But there's no time to explain this to them. How would they understand anyway? There's a monster on the loose, and there's a chance that Max is still out there somewhere. I can feel his presence calling to me. The school's nurse rounds the corner of the hallway, a concerned look on his face. My feet start to move automatically, carrying me away from the nurse and deeper into the school. Doug, it's okay, I'm here to help you. His footsteps speed up as he tries to keep pace, but I know that I'm younger and faster. I break into a sprint, running down the hallway. I misjudge my speed and crash into a classroom door as I round the corner. The class beyond stares at me through the windows, and a worried face jumps out at me. It's Nat, horrified to see the commotion that her brother is causing. She jumps up and runs to the door before I can gather myself and run off. Doug, are you okay? What's going on? It's Max! He's gone! Some monster has him! I need to try and save him! Doug, what are you talking about? I think you need to lie down. I slap away my sister's reassuring hand. If I don't get out of here soon, I'll be trapped here forever. Escape is my only option, even if it means pissing Nat off. Sorry, but this has to be done. This whole town is in danger. Behind me, the nurse is finally caught up. Love you, sis. My legs pump as I run through Natalie's classroom and leap from an open window out into the playground. The nurse peers his head out on the ground floor window. It's not too far from the ground, but too high for him to jump. I turn my back on the school building and sprint through the grassy playground and onto the street beyond. Intersecting memories overlap in my mind, but I can now clearly see Max's house in my mind. My body must have been taking me this morning to check on him. I was so stupid to realize what was going on. Feels like I've been drugged and my memories replaced. But it's more powerful than that. Like Max was some creation of my mind that I forgot about. A childhood memory that was forgotten, only to come rushing back to total clarity due to some random stimulus. Like remembering a summer trip if you smell a certain scent, or a joke you were told over ice cream. I can't be sure that it's real, but the only way for me to know for sure is to confront Max, or the monster, to find out. Don't make that sound. Max's house stands as it always has, the 2-story townhouse in a nice area. The front garden with its perfectly maintained lawn, the immaculate white paint, the fox marble entryway. I had leaned to deal with the difference in our lifestyles, but I think part of me secretly hated him for that. I take a step forwards towards the front door, but something stops me. Even though I was here less than 12 hours ago, something's different. The car in the driveway is an old but well-maintained Toyota. I could have sworn his dad had a BMW. Something's amiss with the curtains as well. Aren't they beige, not brown? I'm still shook up. There's something wrong with this reality. Or maybe this is all just some kind of trip. I bet Max will be inside, laughing his arse off and dying to reveal what he slipped me last night. Drugs are easy enough to get at my school, and Max has the money and gall to pull off a stunt like that. He's told me countless times before that I'm too much of a straight arrow and need to lighten up. One of these days I'll break you out of that Boy Scout shell. It's my personal mission, is what he used to say. Maybe he decided to get a little heavier-handed in his methods. If that's what happened, I'm gonna wring his neck. Then again, after the last 24 hours, I think I would prefer a bad acid trip to warping through realities. Or seeing that giant snake dream again. I walk across the soft grass and press the doorbell. It feels delightfully solid. I can faintly hear it ring inside. The noise is somehow calling. The drug theory makes more and more sense. I'm not going crazy after all. Coming! It's a voice that I've not heard before. An old lady. Maybe he has a visitor? The door opens and I can see an old Asian woman in front of me. Can I help you? Yeah, is Max in? I peer behind her. Everything looks different from what I remember. The stairway looks the same, but all the furniture has been changed. Max? I think you have the wrong house. No, this is the right house. Max Dunbar has lived here for years. Well, now I know that you're wrong. This has been my home since it was built 13 years ago. The nausea hits me again and I falter backwards. She shakes her head before closing the door. I stumble away from the house as I cross onto the footpath. I feel like I'm pushing through the air. Like I'm walking through a wall of mud. My memory clears and I can see the ghostly snake devouring Max clearly in my mind's eye. I take a deep breath of air and squeeze my eyes shut, forcing my memories to the fore. My mind is at odds with itself. Part of it is telling me Max was a dream, that he never existed. The more I try to recall our childhood together, the harder it gets to remember him. It's like chasing a rainbow. No matter how fast you run towards it, it's always out of reach. Doubt creeps into my conscience.
Forget me.
Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I was the one that fed myself drugs, and Max is an illusion. No, that can't be right. He's real. I'm real. None of this world is real. I need to pull myself together. People are going to think that I'm crazy. Running, screaming from school will have that effect on your reputation. I need to get my world under control, but it's spinning too fast. Maybe that's just my head. Nothing makes sense and I feel exhausted. As much as I want to avoid a run-in with Mom now, I decide the best option is to sneak home. If I can rest for a little bit, then maybe I can clear my head and sort this mess out of my mind. The walk home feels slightly longer than it should be, and I can swear that I smell traces of ozone. A cold breeze blows down Max's street, and I feel the chill against my skin. The wind blows the smell from my nose before I can verify it. By the time I get home, I have almost convinced myself that this reality and that Max was a dream. Quickly opened the back door to the house. Dad should be at work by now, but it doesn't hurt to be careful. Mom is likely asleep after her night shift. She usually doesn't get up well until after we finish school. I was just wondering when you'd come back here. Natalia is waiting for me at the kitchen table, negating the need for stealth. How'd you know I'd be here? You ran screaming from the school in some kind of drug fever. I knew you'd have to come back here eventually. I sheepishly tried to avoid her stare. She's right, I went a little overboard this morning. Sorry, I must have slept poorly or something. That didn't look like sleep to me. Are you using? I recoil physically at her accusation, but from her point of view, it's a reasonable conclusion. No, I swear. I'm just a little messed up right now. I think that I had some weird dream last night, that I saw some kind of attack. I'm okay now. You'd better not be taking anything. I have to put up with enough crap from Dad and those junkies in school. You're supposed to be the diamond in the rough here. I tussle my little sister's hair. You don't need to worry about me. I've got too much going on for me to get up now. I'm not totally convinced by that, but I do know that I can't afford to lose focus now. I count the rest of my high school life in weeks, and I know just how behind I am in all my studies. If I want to end up at a half-decent university and getting out of this backwater, I need to hit the books. I fill my lungs and try to push the remnants of this dream from my head. I need to forget fantasies of snakes and monsters. Focusing on some hard facts from a textbook should help with that. You better not. Oh, I brought your bag back. Told your roll call teacher that you had fever. Thanks. You're welcome. I'm going back to school now. Get your head together, okay? Sure. Oh, Nat? Hmm? Don't tell Mom, okay? She'll flip out and send me for a bunch of tests or something. I've got it. I'll pull a stunt like this again and I'll make sure you piss in a cup myself. Natalia picks up her school bag and heads out the door. Talking to another person seems to have helped calm my mind, and I suddenly feel tired. Running around like a madman all morning is taking its toll. But I need to study to clear my head. It's not often that I'll get a chance to have the house to myself. I grab a glass of milk from the fridge, slamming it shut before opening my school books on the kitchen table. It's much easier to study here in my room than in my room with piles of old cardboard boxes. A small window in that room simply doesn't provide enough ventilation. Too long in there and I'll give myself a headache. I become engrossed in my history book, and before I know it, the white light streaming into the window has taken on an orange hue. I better shift back to my pitiful room before anyone gets home. The sun sets as my wayward family begins to assemble in the house. Natalia is first, secluding herself in her room almost as soon as she gets in. I suppose that between last night and today she's had enough of me and doesn't want to be dragged into another confrontation. Mom is next. I hear her sleepy sighs as she settles into the dining room after a day of sleep. I want to go out and say hello, but I'm afraid that I'll slip up and she'll go into protection mode. Best to pretend that I'm studying and keep out of her way for now. The worst outcome is that she starts to think that I'm on drugs. I'll never hear the end of it. Walking myself away to study isn't that rare, so I might be able to get away with it for today. It isn't long before I hear the background noise of the TV flip in the living room and the hum of the microwave. Pasta again, I suppose. She works like a dog and still finds the energy to cook for us. I don't know how she does it. Not that boiling pasta and microwaving sauce is really gourmet cooking, but it saves me doing it. Sometimes I try to cook for everyone, but it always ends up terrible. Mom subtly suggests that I leave it to her. Dinner's ready. The emotionless cry reverberates around the house, and Natalia and I dutifully file into the living dining room. Natalia gives me a look that tells me she won't say a word, but at the same time to avoid starting another row with Dad. I sheepishly nod in her direction. Message received. One look at Mom's face tells me all I need to know. It's been a rough day. Don't ask me anything. That's what the bags under her eyes are telling us. How was school? Uneventful. I could hug my sister for jumping in before me. I still can't trust my mouth to say what I wanted to say. And you? Same, I guess. Just getting ready for finals. Good. With the official family conversation ended, we start eating in silence. Spaghetti bolognese. It's a staple of our family diet. I don't really mind it. It's quick and fills you up. And I'm healthy enough, so it can't be that bad for you. I've started noticing that a lot of people in this town are becoming obese, but so far we are still fit. Doug, I want you to know that your dad doesn't mean everything he said last night. I twirl my fork in the spaghetti, sloshing the red sauce around the plate. What do you mean he doesn't mean everything he said? We just know that you only get one shot at this. You know that too, right? I guess. I don't feel like talking to her about it. I'm still not entirely sure what happened last night. Memories are overlapping in my mind, making it hard to tell reality from fiction. But if I act too weird, Mom's sensors will start pinging and I'll be interrogated with vigor. That's one more complication that I don't need in my life right now. Mom has made her stance on drugs quite clear. If the junkies were gone, so would her need to pull overtime out. He's also got a lot of stress at this moment. Stress. Stress, huh? That guy doesn't know stress. Mom has worked in an emergency ward for decades. The stories she tells us chill your blood. What kind of stress could an office worker have that compares to that? I know. I struggle to keep my emotions in check. If I get myself riled up now, then I'll pop when he gets home. Well, so long as you know, he wants what's best for you, even if you don't see it yet. One day you'll thank him. I dropped the fork on my plate with a clatter. I get it. I'm done. I carry the half-empty plate to the sink. I don't want to be petulant to my mother, but I also need time to think. Reality isn't playing nice today, and I already know what she's gonna say. She's not wrong. I guess that is the hardest part of all of it. I've got to study. My finals are bringing a lot of stress into the family. Even though I'm the only one affected, Mom and Dad have both been fretting over the coming exams. And that reflects back on me, so I start to get worried. At the beginning of the year, I thought I had everything under control. But as the day looms closer, I started panicking. What if I don't get good enough grades? It's not like I have any other talents. I like to shoot some hoops now and again, but I'm easily the weakest player on the school team, so sports aren't an option. I've already had a couple of friends drop out of high school to start apprenticeships, but Dad won't let me do that. You need a degree to survive in this world. Almost every trade will be automated in the next 20 years. He might be right. So the university has always been front of mind for me. I want to make an impact on this world, and that's not something you could do easily as an electrician. But that's about where my ambition stops. I have a couple of subjects that I'm okay with, but nothing stellar. Maybe that's the appeal of university. Get out of this tiny town and try to find what I'm good at. Maybe that's why I clash with Dad so much. He spends too much time reading about the future of business, so he wants me studying computer science. His vision of the future seems so clear, but from where I sit, it's not that simple. I can hear his car pull up in the driveway now. It must already be 8 o'clock. Somehow I can tell by his footsteps that he hasn't been drinking. That's a relief. The door opens and he calls out to everyone. I'm home. Doug, have you got a sec? Damn it, here he comes. I'm in my room. I close my eyes and breathe in deeply, trying to force the confusion from my mind. If Mom's overbearing caring instincts are bad, having Dad thinking that I'm high would be much worse. I don't even want to imagine his reaction. He knocks on my door before opening it and leaning in. Look, Doug, I wanted to apologize for last night. It's okay. No, it's not. I went overboard. It's not healthy. I just get so worried about you and your sister. I don't want you to end up a screw-up like your uncle. Ah, that old crutch. Dad wasn't exactly on top of the social ladder, but he was still a fair few rungs up from his kleptomaniac brother. I get it. Anyway, I want you to know that I support you. But I can see you making the same mistakes I did, and I want to stop you from that. A small spark of anger flares up in me. Normally I'd bite back, but I want this to be over. I have other things to worry about today. I know. Thanks, Dad. Dad seems to accept my thanks. He's probably expecting me to fight back as well. Okay, I see you're working. I'll leave you to it. You're a good kid, you know that? Yeah, I know. He tapped the door jam and pulls the door closed. Finally, I'm left alone. I tamp down the fire that is starting to grow in my belly. There's no point in getting pissed off and starting another fight tonight. Until I can trust my body again, it's not worth making too much fuss. I need to clear my head, so I grab a light jacket and my helmet and head outside. I'm going for a ride. Be back in a bit. Okay, have you got your helmet? Oh. My mother has trained me well. No riding without a helmet. I used to think that it was too nerdy, and then she showed me some photos of accidents. Yeah, for real, dude. That was enough to scare me into protecting my skull. Stay on the main roads. Be safe. Sure thing, Mom. I put my legs harder against the wind in my face. The blood surging through my body helps to clear my head. Forget about wild dreams, serpents, or stomach cramps. Forget out Max or epic fights in the night. Just push, and push some more. All these things work themselves out in the end. Just push through it and they'll work it out. That's how I've dealt with everything else so far. Deal with what you have to and filter out the rest. But then again, I haven't dealt with something like this before. Stop thinking. Push. I chastise myself for letting my mind wander, and I charge my legs for another sprint. The school whizzes by on my left as I head towards the river. Don't go to the river! Don't go to the river, dude. At this hour, there are hardly any people in sight. I'm not sure what Mom is so worried about. There aren't even any cars out. I see someone walking the dog, but apart from that, nothing. I turn right and continue parallel to the river, out towards the industrial areas. The lighting's a little lower out here, but then again, there are fewer people. I need to go fast. As the road levels out, I pedal with increased fervor. My stomach cramps slightly. Maybe I'm pushing too hard. I grit my teeth and continue forward, but the throbbing in my stomach grows with every rotation of the wheels until it develops into a full cramp. I slam on the brakes and the bike skids to a stop. Ozone fills my nostrils. What the hell? I speak before I can stop myself. No sooner have the words left my lips than the tightening in my stomach turns into a full knot, and I let my bike fall to the ground. There, across the road, I can see it. The flickering rainbow of colors emanating from the windows of a nearby house. Colors that I saw less than a day before. The light emanated from the body of the snake. Vomit churns in my throat as I swallow it back down. I need to confront this beast now. I need to know which of my memories is real. I rushed to the front door and started to pound on it furiously, but there was no answer. Let me in! I was looking at Mom and hanging on the door of this quiet street. The airport feels thick over the classrooms and wanted, like it's stuck in some kind of bubble. I try to look at the houses around me, but the shimmer in the distance is far away and not there. Oh my god! Madness possesses me as I kick the door in. This way easily as if it weren't completely solid. Somehow it's not completely real. It's like the outside getting precipitous shit as strobing flashes across the hallway. I charge into the house hoping that I can save whoever's in there. Before I can cross the threshold, the serpent appears at the end of the hall. Get down! Behind me, I hear a girl's voice over the cacophony of the approaching serpent. My legs don't wait for my brain. They curl up beneath me, and before I can think, I'm crouching on the floor. A glass bottle sails over my head and shatters on the floor, spraying liquid everywhere. The serpent retreats briefly before charging directly at us, exposing its infinite maw and the rows of teeth that remain. It's on a scream like a wave crashing over my head, and the glass my hands over my ears to block out the noise. Oh shit! Get out of there! By the doorway, I can see a small figure in silhouette beckoning me towards her, a glass bottle in her hand. Instincts kick in and I dive through the door into the darkness of this residential street. And it shadows above the serpent. Momentum carries my roll across the lawn. As I tumble, I see the snake's body arch up and burrow into the floor. Like a switch, the sound of draining water is gone. The noises of a suburban street return, as does the panting of a girl out of breath. I turn to see the house, but the light's now gone. The front door stands intact as if nothing ever happened. I pick myself up from the ground. brushing blades of grass off my clothes. I approached the front door, my hand running over the solid wood that I had shattered mere moments ago. Like Max, someone died here, eaten by a giant snake. A lump starts to form in my throat, but then I feel a hand on my shoulder. So, is this our new routine? Who are you? And you saw it too? The tension in my gut starts to subside, and I realize that if two of us saw the same thing, then maybe I'm not going crazy. Well, at least not in the did I really see a snake eat my friend crazy. Of course, but it reacted, right? To the turpentine? I mean, that bottle seems pretty pissed off. The girl seems generally happy in an odd sort of way. She clenches her fist in a victorious pumping motion. She seems familiar, but I can't place her. So you know what's going on here? The girl stops her celebration for a second to look at me. She's wearing my school's uniform. Wait, you go to my school, right? The girl rolls her eyes. Yes, genius, I do. It's me, Michelle. I draw a blank. I might have seen this person in school, but she somehow never registered in my brain. She seems short and dirty, her uniform muddy and probably torn. It's hard to tell. Sure, I'm Doug. She keeps staring at me. Did I say something wrong? Are you serious? Do you honestly not know who I am? Oh. You don't remember anything from last night. Oh. Sounds like less like a question and more like a realization. Oh. She saved us last night. Before I can open my mouth, she waves her hand with a bitter smile. Haven't you heard of me? Everyone else has. I'm in your sister's class too, you know. Oh, really? No, wait. About last night. I remember some things. It's like I have two memories from last night. You tripping? Rainbow serpent. Excuse me? It's called a rainbow serpent. Why is she so upset right now? She seemed so friendly just a moment ago. Now she won't even look me in the eye. I don't get what her deal is. You really know nothing about others, do you? Afraid not. If she can understand me, if she can help me understand what the hell is going on, I think I can stomach her attitude. Well, I can tell you two things. One, you're not crazy, and neither am I. And two, it's not going to come back to this house. And actually, three, give me a hot drink. Two by now if I'm keeping score. Or four. We're saving your arse. Twice. The last word is icy cold. What? Never mind. She sighs deeply. Clearly disappointed in me. I only wish I could know why. She saved me now, kind of. Did she do the same yesterday? But no matter how much I strain my brain to remember, nothing comes up. Her face didn't awaken my memories either. The memories about the monster are true. How did I get back home last night? There's a diner near here. Buy me a coffee and I'll call it even. Sure. I collect my bike and push it as I walk along Michelle. Rainbow serpent, you say? Yes, rainbow serpent. You've heard of it, right? Or do you just sleep through history class? I thought it was some kind of aboriginal legend. Bingo. But it didn't create the rivers and the land. But didn't it create the rivers and the land and then die or something? Did that look dead to you? I guess not. Michelle's standoffish nature rubs against me, so I decide to keep my mouth shut. Before long, the yellow glow of the fast food restaurant fills the road ahead, and we shuffle into the warm eatery. The cashier gives us a look of disgruntled indifference. disappointed that we had interrupted his most solitary night shift with an order. Steam curls off the top of the 2 cups as they sit on the cream-colored plastic table. I study the girl across from me. In the harsh fluorescent light of the restaurant, I can see that her uniform is quite stained, like she's been crawling through undergrowth. It's not quite torn, but definitely well worn. Luckily, our school doesn't care too much about uniforms, else she'd be in trouble. What are you looking at? Nothing. Your uniform, I guess? Michelle checks herself, noticing the mud stains as if for the first time. It's a little dirty, so what? Nothing. I thought you might have been in an accident or something. No, just patrolling. Patrolling? For the serpent. My mind instantly resets, forgetting about stories of muddied uniforms. Why do you call it a rainbow serpent? Because that's what it is? I thought that much would be obvious. And you've seen it before? Once, well, 3 times now, but once before this week. It was a long time ago. But what is it? That I don't know. All I know is that it eats people, and when it does, it's like they never existed. Like Max. I choke up for a second before continuing. Last night it ate my best friend, Max. We used to do everything together, but today no one even knew that he existed. Even I wasn't sure until he was real until I saw that thing again. Oh, Max's name flashed. So you're saying that he was eaten and people forgot about him? Michelle shakes her head. No, more like he never existed in the first place. People who get eaten, they are erased from history. And why do I remember him? You touched the serpent, right? I'm not sure how, but that's why. I recall the intense sensations of the void from my contact with the serpent. It really did feel like there was some kind of distorted reality lurking within the beast. Does that mean that you? Yes. Michelle toys with her coffee, rolling the cup between her 2 palms. It was my aunt and uncle. They came to visit us after we had moved here. The first night they slept in the living room, a weird noise woke me up and I went down, curious. When I got downstairs, I saw that terrible serpent eating them as they slept. I tried to stop it, but I couldn't. When my parents woke up, they couldn't remember that my aunt and uncle were ever even in the house, or that they had existed at all. My parents even showed me their wedding photos to prove it to me. They simply weren't there. Aunts. They thought I was crazy. Both my aunt and uncle were deleted from history. That's exactly what happened to Max. When I went to his house today, there was some woman living there. No one at school remembers him either, like he never existed. For years I thought I was the only one, that I had just made it up, that it was a dream. Is that where you go patrolling? Yes, I need to find it. But you've only seen it 3 times? Yeah, to be frank, I thought I was going crazy. Apart from William, no one else believed me. And he's not exactly what most people would call sane. William? Oh, he's a friend. Of sorts. Never mind. I decided to leave the subject alone. So, how did you find me tonight? Michelle looks away from me, subtly trying to avoid my questioning gaze. I just did, right? The young girl sighs before turning back to me. Same as last night. Last night? Anyway, I saw the light of the serpent, so I wanted to check it out. She answers quickly, suddenly upset again. Talking to her is difficult. I feel like she'll bite if I word my questions wrong. But I need those answers, desperately. And yesterday, did you see what happened? Did you see the serpent eating Max? No, but I believe you. No one else will believe you. Ever. Except me. I guess that makes us Confederates then. Michelle squirms in the cheap plastic-covered seat for a moment before answering. Those words seem to have cleared her sour mood instantly. I guess. So what's next? Next? How do I get Max back? You can't get him back. He's gone. I don't even know who you're talking about, and I'm one of the few people on this planet that will even believe you. Once you're in the belly of the beast, she makes a disappearing motion with her hands. Just like that. Just like that. Stop showing Max's name! Max was my guy, dude. Depression washes over me as waves of memories with Max tumble across my mind. Memories that have been erased from everyone's history. Everyone except mine. I suddenly feel alone, tormented and alone. How can a great person such as Max suddenly cease to exist? Until now, I wasn't ready to accept it, but seeing this dirty, matter-of-fact girl explain things somehow makes me realize that this is for real. Max is gone. Dead. Worse than dead. Erased. And I can never talk to anyone about it. I suddenly realized something. How long ago did you say your aunt and uncle were attacked? I didn't, but it's 5 years this summer. 5 years? She would have been about 10. And you've never told anyone? Yes and no. When I told people, they thought I was crazy. And I didn't know if I dreamt it or not, so I kept my mouth shut. And went patrolling every night. Michelle nods silently. 5 years. 5 years thinking she was crazy. 5 years of sneaking out at night to go and patrol. 5 years of keeping your mouth shut about something you've desperately needed to talk about. Dealing with the death of someone close is painful, like a dagger in the heart. Even I want to curl up and cry for Max, but I know that I can't. But Michelle never even got that chance. I recall the sheer terror that flowed through me when I saw the serpent. How on earth would a 10-year-old react to that? Words fail me. Well, thank you. You know, for helping me out. You're welcome. So what now? Same as always. I'm gonna keep searching for the serpent. And kill it. Kill it. This thing ruined my life. Yes, I'm gonna kill it. How? I don't know. But I'm not gonna sit here. I'm not gonna find out sitting here. Okay, okay. Calm down or they'll kick us out. My harsh whisper calms Michelle down, but I glance over at the counter. The sole worker is nowhere to be seen. He could probably start a rock concert and he wouldn't care about the noise. Michelle, however, takes this as her cue and calms slightly. Sorry, I'm a little excited, I guess. It is a wild story. I can understand why no one else would believe you. Well, at least you do now. Kinda don't have a choice on this point. Michelle serves her cup before drinking the rest of her coffee. Thanks for the drink. At least tonight we saw her at Likes to Terps. We? We're allies now, right? I gulp as I realize that I'm now being forced into a partnership with this ill-groomed girl. Allies. In any case, I won't be back tonight, I'm sure of that. We should get some sleep. Tomorrow's another day. Michelle seems a little too triumphant. Then again, after 5 years of self-doubt, it would be liberating to know that you were right all along. Patrolling, you mean? Of course. Partner. Partner. The word sits heavily in my mind. But if what she's telling me is true, and Max isn't coming back, then I think I could join her for some revenge. Yeah. Avenge Max. Please avenge Max. Max is my boy. Where do we meet then? Don't worry, I'll find you. See you. Michelle lets herself out of the restaurant and dissolves into the inky black night beyond the external lights. I finish my own drink before heading out to my bike. The ride to my house is painfully lonely, made worse by the realization that I can't publicly mourn my friend. Ever. What Michelle told me appears to be true, and no one I know has heard of Max before. to a real person that died, everyone would gather around me and support me. I'd seen it before, when I was in year 7, a senior was killed in a car crash. The school practically turned into a therapy center for a month. I didn't understand why at the time, but I do now. And yet if I bring anything up, I'm gonna be sent to therapy. Not to grieve, but to cure my insanity. I sniff back tears as the wind streaks past my face. I hope my eyes don't give me away when I get home. Thankfully, it appears as the house is silent, so I managed to make it to my room without raising suspicion. I stare at the ceiling. It's impossible to get to sleep. Tales of rainbow serpents mean nothing to me right now. I replay memories in my mind, trying to place Max's face front and center. The trees we used to climb, jumping off rocks and into the river, riding our bikes out to see the quarry outside of town. But the harder I try to focus on his face, the harder it gets to remember his features. I pull my phone out and try to find photos of him, but it's not good. Just as Michelle said, he's been erased from history. I know that I took photos of us last week, but now some stranger looks back at me from the screen. A new timeline, new friends. What on earth is this? My frustration vents from my mouth involuntarily. I put the phone down on my bedside table and wait for the bluish glow to fade. My room is now practically dark, allowing my mind to generate its own images. I try to force Max's face to the floor, but it's a futile effort. All I see now is the shape-shifting rainbow of the serpent's skin, its multiple blinking eyes, the rows of teeth framing its red, bottomless maw. I shudder. Adrenaline kept me from noticing too many details, but now as my mind recreates the scene, I have no choice. My grief begins to be replaced with terror as the image swirls around my darkened room, and that sound, like a contained tsunami combined with this thunderstorm, an eternal torment of noise. I choke up a little as I realize that this would have been the last thing that Max saw in this universe. He must have been terrified, alone and terrified. I squeeze my eyes shut and curl up into a ball on my bed. I can feel tears well up behind my eyelids, but I pay them no heed. All I want right now is to hold someone, anyone, and have them tell me that everything will be alright. That this bad dream and that this Michelle was conspiring to make me feel bad. But deep down, I know the truth of my new reality. Max is dead, and I couldn't even lay a finger on the beast that killed him. I couldn't even warn him to run. I feel powerless, useless, scared. Now I understand Michelle's passion. At 10 years old, alone, she wouldn't have had the benefit of self-control that I have. She must have been driven crazy by not knowing what was real and what was implanted by the serpent. At least I have that advantage. Michelle. She said something about someone else. Liam? Doesn't sound like any name I've heard before. In any case, Michelle is the only person for now that can understand what I'm going through. Not that it makes sleeping any easier. I take some deep breaths and somehow manage to get my silent sobbing under control. Get it together. Getting depressed isn't gonna help anyone. That beast is out there, and it's gonna keep doing this to other people until we find a way to put a stop to it. So that's what we'll have to do. Tomorrow, I'll find Michelle and extract every bit of information from her that I can. But until then, let me mourn my friend. The lunch bell rings out, drowning our math teacher's explanation about quadratics. Thank heavens for that. The crowd of my classmates seems somewhat odd to me. Their faces are familiar, and they all seem happy to talk to me. But somehow, I'm simply not interested in them. It's like I don't have enough energy to even talk to them. I join them in the quad wrangle? I haven't heard that before. What's a quadrangle? As we eat our lunch, but I can't get into their conversations. Playful banter simply doesn't excite me. I can't get their jokes. Thankfully, my cloudy attitude leads them to partially ignore me. They acknowledge that I'm there, but don't try to drag me into the conversation. I swallow my tasteless sandwich in peace. Psst. As much as I don't want to be with my friends, I really don't want to deal with her voice today either. Psst. She's not gonna go away. I turn to a classroom window which has been cracked open and see a finger beckoning me towards it. Shoving the remainder of my sandwich into my mouth, I head towards the window. You're not very good at just being discreet, man. I don't care. Come in here. Give me a second. I scoop up my bag from the ground and wave to my collective friends. I'm going to the loo. Be back soon. They barely register my feeble excuse before turning to their vapid conversation. Ignorance is bliss, I guess. Seeing the classroom practically empty makes it seem somewhat surreal. You know we're not supposed to be in here during lunch. Michelle's little head peers up from a desk at the back of the room. Exactly. Less likely to be disturbed, right? She stands up, a cheesy grin on her face. Surprisingly, her uniform is clear and her hair is less tangled than it was last night. Did she start every day looking like a normal student and then progressively get grubbier during her patrols? At this point, it doesn't bother me. I suppose you're right. When you said you'd find me, I thought you meant after school. I couldn't wait. Well, I guess this is a little less weird. We should keep it discreet. It'd suck if people started to talk about us. Why? Have you got a reputation to protect? Don't want your friends thinking you're hanging out with a younger girl? Her candid attitude puts me off balance. That's not what I meant. Only, people talk. It's a small town here. Nothing much happens. Meaning that every little action can become a rumor that spreads like wildfire. I prefer to stay under the radar, drifting through the town so I can escape from here and make something of my life. Whatever. Let them talk. We have more important things to discuss. Like tactics. Tactics? We need to kill that overgrown worm. We don't even know what it is, let alone how we can hurt it. Terps. Terps seem to bother it. I mean, last night? Seems more like you pissed it off than hurting it. You sure it wasn't just the bottle you threw at it? It's more than you did. I didn't have much time to think of anything. And it's better than trying to wrestle it. She's right. My charge and throwing punching tactics hasn't really helped. Okay, what are your suggestions then? Not sure. But I realized that maybe William would know something, so I came looking for you. You mentioned him last night. Who is this guy? A friend. Of sorts. I found him on one of my patrols, passed out. I helped him out and he was grateful. We started talking. I'd bring him food and he'd listen to my stories. Wait, bring him food? Yeah, bread, fruit, that kind of thing. I don't mean tell me what food means. I mean, why would you need to bring him food? Oh, he's homeless. I'm not sure where he gets his food from, but he always seems hungry. I resist the urge to roll my eyes. Of course the karate weird girl has a homeless friend. Maybe he was the only one she could talk to without him calling her crazy. Like, things might be bad with her, but she could at least be superior to one person. Great. Liam the hobo. And how exactly is he gonna help us? Does the serpent only attack people with homes? Shut up. Leave him alone. You don't know him. Okay, maybe I overreact. The point still stands. You've mentioned him before, but haven't given me any details. William is an elder. At least that's what he tells me. You mean an aboriginal elder? Yeah, what else? When I told him about the attack on my aunt and uncles, he said it reminded him of the stories he heard as a child. So that's why you call it the Rainbow Serpent. That's what he said. He knows it from some old legend. Michelle seems genuinely happy to tell the story. It's almost as if having someone hear her out is enough to cheer her up. Maybe this William guy was the only guy to listen to her for the last 5 years. Even if he was just some bum who wanted attention. Ew. The thought of a young girl hanging out with a homeless old man conjures thoughts too horrid to explain to my mind. So he and you are friends? Just friends? We talk. Sometimes. When I could find him. He's usually on the edge of town though, so we don't see each other often. He doesn't like coming into the city, even if he can find food and somewhere to sleep. I've tried to get him to stay at the shelter sometimes, but he refuses. You know, I leave him to his own devices. Sounds like a real fountain of truth you have there. Well, he knows more than you do. Michelle's expression tells me everything I need to know. This is someone that she's connected with. Insulting him is insulting her. Sorry, maybe you're right. In any case, think he knows something? Maybe he wouldn't have told you by now? Well, until the other night, I didn't even know if I had imagined everything. I couldn't remember the details. But now you're here, the memory is fresh in my mind. You need to come with me. You've touched it more than I ever did. Maybe it will help jog Liam's memory. I feel bad for hurting your feelings and insulting your friends, so I capitulate. Okay, I guess it can't hurt. Great, let's go then. What, now? We still have a half day of school. And? Well, shouldn't we be in classes? There's a monster out there killing people, and you're worried about your grades? Are you serious right now? Something about her fervor inspires me. In a way, she's right. Stopping a monster is more important than algebra. I mean, true. At least that's how I see it. I've got my stuff. You all seem to be paying attention to me today. So let's do it. Michelle brightens up and punches me on the upper arm. That's the spirit. Let's go. What about your stuff? Stuff? No books? Forget that. I didn't even bring him. With a laugh, Michelle twirls and heads out the door, her gait confident. I have to jog to keep up as she unabashedly walks straight through the school's gates and onto the footpath beyond. I gulp slightly as I take my first step outside. I've not gone through it before. It's not like I'm some kind of bookworm, but at the same, I didn't do anything wrong. Michelle's right. What good will staying in school be if it allows the monster to keep on killing? Isn't that the bigger wrong? Lesser of two evils kind of thing? I grit my teeth and let Max's memory inspire me. No one else should suffer that fate. Michelle is already a fair way down the footpath by the time my feet catch up with my brain and propel me forward. Michelle's pace barely lets up as she leads me east to the edge of town. The houses here are definitely lower quality than in the city center. They're made of old asbestos-laced weatherboard that was popular in the 70s but totally illegal now. So wonder they still exist. Out of sight, out of mind. Lawns are overgrown and dried. Tufts of pale yellow grass jut out from the old brickwork at odd angles. There's even a car propped up by a cinder block in the yard. Not a person in sight. It's hard to tell if no one lives here at all, or if they're simply used to hiding from the rest of the world. Did you say you come here often? Not really, only to meet Liam. He told me that I had no luck finding a creature near the river than this far out. He said the serpent is a water spirit. Maybe he's just this crazy girl hanging around him. Given my brief interactions with myself, that could easily be a possibility. Especially for someone who didn't know that she was telling the truth about the serpent. And again, water spirit, that seems to make sense. Is that why he lives here, away from the river? Michelle shrugs. I guess. She pushes through the lawn of one of the old houses and into the undergrowth beyond. The dirty uniform begins to make sense. Looks like he should be here. In for a penny, in for a pound, I guess. Great. Coming. followed through the narrow gap between some dried out vines that are choking the life out of a pair of trees. The inside is like a cave. The vines have arced over the trees above to form a natural canopy. The ground has been cleared, leaving only bare dirt. A blue plastic tarp is stretched between 4 trees to increase protection from the rain. Beneath it, an aged sleeping bag sits atop what looks like a yoga mat, surrounded by candy-stripped plastic shopping bags bulging with odd shapes. The stench of dried urine and stale wine permeate the air. So this is the spot. Before I can finish my thought, the sleeping bag quivers and I jump slightly in shock. William, it's Michelle. You'll never believe what happened. Canyons of wrinkles stretched across his broad forehead, and his poor-poked nose peers out gently from the forest of his white beard. But his eyes, small and intense, seem as sharp as anyone I've ever met. His unnerving gaze lingers on Michelle only for a moment before turning slightly to examine myself. Who's this one, mate? That's why I came to see you. He's seen it. The serpent, it's back, and it attacked his friend. He fought it last night as well. The sleeping bag rushes to the ground as William stands upright, quickly taking a step towards me and grasping my shoulders with an iron grip. She's not lying, is she, honey? Oh, I've seen it too, I think. His movements have startled me, and for a second I can't even begin to think properly. If you asked me how to describe the snake, I would have trouble doing so. Deep down, I wonder if it really happened at all. But then the sensation of vomiting bile returns. My mind is still organizing itself, shaking off the false memories that the serpent planted. Memories of a world without Max, a world where Michelle is simply a social outcast, and where I remain a humble student. These are all false memories I need to suppress if I want to extract my revenge. William shakes me briefly, rousing my senses. Boy, tell me what you saw, what you see. It's hard to explain. It was like a huge worm made of water, but it was lit from the inside. And teeth, lots of teeth. He attacked it with his bare hands. Twice. Brave, were they? Not really, just reacting, I guess. I don't know, I'm not sure why, but receiving praise from the strange old man makes me feel bashful. So then, little one, looks like you ain't been fibbing. The shock from William's questioning starts to wear off, and I remember why we came here. Michelle says you know what that thing is? Yeah, mate, it's the rainbow serpent. Dreamtime story? William large hand releases my shoulders to slap me square on the back. This one's a small one, Ed. Sit down, youngin'. Let me tell you a story. Doubt this man can teach me anything. Find an abandoned milk crate, turn it over, and sit on it. Michelle pulls a rock close to the crate and sits down beside me. Perhaps a little closer than I would have sat next to her. Long, long time ago, in the dreamland, was a rainbow serpent. Now that fella be making a mess around here. So old fella named Yunji called up a Dirawong to fight the serpent. Dirawong chased the serpent, and that snake bit a Dirawong on his head. That's how the river down there be made. When Dirawong got better, Rainbow Snake had done hidden himself. Dirawong searched but couldn't find him. Some say the serpent be hiding to get stronger, and no one but a Dirawong can kill the serpent. William pauses, and it takes me a moment to realize that he actually stopped talking. Not that I can make sense of the foreign sounding names anyways. What's a Dirawong? My mouth has moved before I even realize it. Him be a goner, mate. Big lizard. But that fella's not been around here for a long time. You don't say. I don't know what to make of it. He sounds like the Aboriginal storytellers that came to school for cultural classes. The story could have been the same as any of them, myths passed down through generations that had lost their original meaning. Then again, a giant snake did seem to be attacking this neighborhood. If you know so much about the serpent and its sterile one, why haven't you seen it? Only dead men and heroes have seen those fellas. And I ain't dead, and I ain't no hero. I scan his surroundings. He's right about not being a hero. It seemed that he only barely possesses the bare essentials for life here. Michelle elbows me not so subtly in the ribs. Hear that? You're a hero, Doug. I certainly don't feel that way. And anyway, how do we know the story has anything to do with what we're seeing? William approaches me, and I can smell the day-old liquor leaking through his sweat. You seen a big snake, right, fella? With flaps of teeth and rainbows shining from his belly? And you touched him, took you to another place here. I'm taken back by his proximity, afraid to answer. Without warning, he reaches out and grabs my shoulder. It feels like a lightning bolt shoots through my body. Memories suddenly become clear. I can see the serpent with perfect vision. Its coil is laid out on the floor before me in Max's house. Yes, sir. William closes his eyes and tightens his grip on my skin. I can feel a bruise already starting to form. My memory slips back and forth with every twitch of his hand, like someone skipping through a video. I see the serpent rear up and devour Max. Time skips forward, and suddenly I'm leaping from the stairwell into the belly of the beast. I want to shut out the memories, but they are out of my control, and much clearer than they have been over the last few days. I see him. I see that fellow. I see you jump into him. Your friend Max. Him no longer in this world. He's in that fella's belly, for sure gone. William opens his eyes and releases his grip. The electric sensations leave my body, and the memories slip back into my subconscious. The small campsite returns to my vision. That was intense. Yeah, he can be like that. Yeah, he can be like that sometimes. Now do you believe me? I rub my shoulder gently to relieve the pain. Do I have a choice at this point? Either all of that happened, or you've got access to some serious pharmaceuticals. I study William again. His body might show the scars of a life lived roughly, but his eyes contain some kind of magic. I'm not sure why I didn't see it before. They sparkle with some kind of inner light, a pale gold shining through his iris. So how do we kill the rainbow serpent? You don't. Only a Direwolf can kill that fella. And the Direwolf has not been in these parts for a long time. Maybe he don't care for his people no more. Maybe he want us all gone, so he letting that fella tear up the place. No, I heard it. We can do this. You can try, little one. But that fella older than you or me. Ain't no white fella gonna kill the serpent. You told me we could kill it. I don't tell you that. I tell you my story. You just heard what you want to hear. That's bullshit, and you know it's bullshit. Tell him, Doug. Tell him last night I heard it. Well, it did react. See, if it's made of water, then we just need to attack it with fire. That does not make sense. You brave little one, but don't get yourself killed. No other fella comes to visit old William these days. I'm going to kill it, and then I'm going to come back here and prove it to you. William does nothing but laugh, which sends Michelle further into a rage. I'm going to kill that fucker and then drag its corpse back here to show you. I'm going to save this town and everyone in it. Then we'll see who's laughing, you fuckwit. Michelle, I think you're taking it too far. Fuck you too. Michelle pushes me off the milk crate and storms out of the clearing. You better watch that one, youngin'. She's got a hot head. You really think we can't fight it? Fight? Yes. Ain't nothing on this world you can't fight. Kill? That's something different. I ain't got no idea what that fella doing back now. But he don't want you white fellas in that place. Best find out why. Or leave. William yawns, watching me in his halitosis-laden breath. You better go get your girlfriend. I'm gonna sleep. You're right, she was pretty pissed off. Good luck, brave youngin'. See you next time. I have to run to catch up to Michelle. My body still feels electrified after the encounter with Liam. I still feel a little violated, like there'd been an interloper snooping around my mind. He was able to directly peer into me. I rubbed my shoulder again to try and shake the feeling. Before long, I can see Michelle stomping towards town with a determined gait. Michelle, wait up! She stopped indignantly and turns around to look at me with disgusted eyes. He's lying, you know. He's always been a pain. What do you mean? He told me that one day I would defeat that monster. And I was as a kid, he didn't say that. He said, my ass. That thing is alive, so it can be killed. I don't start fighting with Michelle. Behind her annoyed facade, I can sense some kind of betrayal. I believe you, and I'll help you, at least as much as I can. Her expression falters and her upper lip trembles slightly. It's only for a split second, but I see it. Good. Thank you. You're welcome. But I have to ask you something. Has Wheaton been inside your mind? Huh? I mean, has he read your mind? Crept around in there? I tap her forehead as I say the words. Oh, you mean has he read me? Only once, when I first met him. Does this feeling go away? Which feeling? Like I've been violated? You jumped into the belly of the phantom snake, and you're asking me how it feels to be violated? But yes, it feels weird. But it goes away. Why would you ever do that to me again? So, that means that he really is who he says he is, some kind of elder. Well, of course. Can you think of any other reason to go and see the guy? He's always drunk or asleep or both. But when he puts on his eyes, none of that seems to matter. There's a catch. When he puts on the eyes, he wants to read something, and that's not going to be me. Eyes? I think I saw that. Some kind of golden shine. Yeah, those eyes. When he's got those eyes on, he's a different person. And a liar. He's a fucking liar. Okay, calm down. At least find somewhere to sit and figure out a plan. Fine, but you're buying. Michelle turns from me in a huff, grabbing me by the hand and leading me back down the streets of town. Part of me is embarrassed to be led around by this diminutive girl. Something also feels right about it. After the assault from me, it feels nice being touched by her. It feels nice to be touching another person. It's a strange sensation to have to explain. But the fact that she isn't reading my mind right now is comforting. Before long, she's dragged me into a quiet corner of a cafe. She impatiently waves a hand at the waitress and orders 2 cups of coffee, but without even asking what I want. Once the waitress is out of earshot, Michelle leans in conspiratorially. You heard Liam. This is a water spirit. Water evaporates. Get it hot enough. Michelle gestures an explosion. How hot is hot enough, though? I don't know. You're the science guy. Science guy? What gave you that idea? Your sister says you're always studying, so I guessed. I scoff a lot. I study because I suck at science. If I were good at science, I wouldn't be freaking out about exams. Can you stop being so useless? Useless? You're the turpentine and a ghost. Reacted, didn't it? Okay, I'll give you that. But it didn't catch fire. What, the serpent? No, the turps. Turpentine doesn't spontaneously catch fire. You need some kind of a pilot to light it. Pilot light, right. Oh my god, this woman. The waitress approaches. Michelle cuts her train of thought. At least she has enough sense to not discuss arson in public. I thanked her, and to my relief, she departs from the table quickly. After you left, William told me something else. He says he doesn't know why the serpent is back, but he seemed to imply that it had a reason. Maybe if we can find out why it is here of all places, then maybe we can stop it that way? We don't even know where it will attack, and you think we can work out what it wants? Shouldn't we try to find some kind of similarities between those attacks? Like something connecting the people it killed? You really are a genius, aren't you? What do you mean? Oh. Anyone eaten by the serpent is gone, poof, from history. Apart from your friend and my uncle and aunt, we don't even know who's been killed. And even if we did know that, there's no record of him left. Anywhere. Now I understand why you need to study so much. Hold up, so I'm trying to think what Max's parents did. I can't remember. No, mining consultant. His dad's a mining consultant, so maybe a mine has to do something with it. They were mining it on Earth, something they shouldn't have. That's a weak theory, but that's what I think. Now I understand why you need to study so much. Getting dressed down by Michelle hits home. Of course, we know nothing about the victims. Maybe that's part of the point. You're right. I searched through William's words to try to find any shred of an answer. William said that we might not be able to kill it, but that we can fight it. I think that's the only real choice that we have, right? If we're fast enough, maybe we can at least chase it off before it kills anyone. Oh no, I'm gonna kill it, that's for sure. There's no other options. Some way or another, I'm going to kill it. She truly is a mad woman, but somehow I can respect her for that. At any point, she could have given up and hidden this monster from our world. Gone about her life in any way she wanted to. But she's facing it head on regardless of the odds. It's clear to me that she won't stop fighting until the serpent or herself is gone from this world. A real battle to the death. Okay, count me in. Really? I knew you'd see it my way. Do you think that we can get William to help? That old drunk? He wouldn't step foot in the city even if you paid him. He says that his people never came back down the riverside in these parts. They thought it was haunted. Well, they're not entirely wrong, you know. I suppose you're right. In any case, we have to go to him. He won't come to us. That's a shame. It does seem like he could be a help. I suppose. But we fight with what we've got. You know it doesn't like Terps. Maybe I need to set it on fire next time. What, you mean you're gonna run around with a Molotov cocktail and hope we find it? Never work. You're right. Michelle grabs her chin in contemplation and takes a sip of her coffee. But it does give me an idea. Oh god. Are you coming tonight? Coming where? Patrolling, dummy. Oh, right. Sure. I'll come to your house at 10. Be ready. Somehow, I don't like the idea of her arriving unannounced on my doorstep. I have to try and interdict her before anyone else notices she's here. Fine, I'll come out to you. Just wait across the street and I'll be there. Good, I've got to get ready. So I'll see you there, right? Right. With the flash, Michelle is gone, leaving me with the tab for her coffee. This is not the worst thing that can happen. I resist the urge to go back to William. I want to quiz him on as many things as I can. But the lingering sensation in my mind dissuades me. Maybe he really is just a madman living in the woods. Yeah, I imagined him reading my mind. Michelle could have easily told him what to say. The light in his eyes could have been the sun's reflection. I don't know what to think anymore. When I was with William, I thought that my memories were clearer, though. But now, back in the real world, I'm not so sure. It's like that tree cave-in in the bush was like a bubble around a different world. Similar feeling to the bubble around the house that night. In any case, I'm committed to going out tonight. If I don't, Michelle will beat down my door to get to me. I can't have that. That is on my case enough as it is. If he thinks I'm wasting my time on a girl, the one in Natalia's grade, no less? Oh, flip. Then again, I don't want to be dragged into an unwinnable battle. Maybe if we can find out what the servant is looking for, we can give it what it wants. Is there a way to bargain with the mythical being? I'd be better than throwing our lives away fighting ghosts every night. There's no way I'll be able to pass my finals if I'm not at home. But stopping the snake seems more important than that right now. I'll try and drive thoughts of exams in school from my mind. This overgrown worm is a threat to the town. Who knows what could be next? What if it took Natalia? Or Michelle? Somehow I don't think I could forgive myself if it attacked either of them. Newfound resolve charges me from the inside out. William could be wrong. If we tried hard enough, we could find a way to kill it, or at least chase it off. That means it only means that Michelle and I need to put our heads together to see what works. Maybe tonight I'll speak to her about what she's tried so far. Part of me starts to get excited. I almost want it to attack again so we can learn more about it and somehow kill it. Alright guys, that's gonna be it for this episode. This is a pretty good story. I've been enjoying it so far. I think I'm close to about 2 hours of recording. But I'm gonna play a lot more indie games in the future, stuff like this. This game should have choices. I mean, it has save spots. So I think this game is actually kind of long. I mean, the exposition was probably about 2 hours, so I'm curious to see how many of my predictions will be correct as well. That's always fun when you play these kinds of games. But yeah, I have a list of itchy.io games, just indie games. I'll have a link to my playlist in the Discord. Discord is in the description. And if you guys have anything you'd like me to add to it, or if you'd like me to play games in specific orders, just let me know in the Discord or let me know in the comments down below. And that's going to be it for this episode, guys. Part 2 should be out soon. But that's going to be it. Peace out, everybody.